Wanted to show the board?
It's okay, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so, yeah, you can turn it just a little bit this way because they're not gonna be able to read that board anyway. All right, so today we are we're going back to basics, which we've done this several times, but we're gonna do it again. So, such a thumb. Master Booney used to tell me all the time, first spelling words I learned, such a thumb. Truth. What is truth? Truth is a quality or state of being true. So what's true? True is exact, honest. What's that word? Actual, accurate. It's also real. Real, actual. What's that? I should put on my
Actually existing as a thing or occurring in fact.
Oh, okay. So occurring in fact or existing as a thing. So if we are in suffering, if we're sad, angry, resentful, what we need to ask ourselves, or scared, or suffering in any way, okay? What we need to ask ourselves, is it true? Is it actual? Is it real? Or is it imaginary? Is it in our mind? Occurring in fact, not imagining or supposed. That's huge right there,
That's
right?
huge,
Yeah.
because when it's imagined or supposed, most of the time it's my ego.
Yes.
100% of the time
Yes.
it's my ego.
Yeah. And it's only going on in your mind. It's only happening in your mind. So you have to ask yourself, and I'm doing step by step because I really want you to have this understanding. It's huge. It's a big, big, big understanding to tell yourself the truth. Like, I'm not talking about you telling me the truth. I'm talking about you telling you the truth. Tell yourself the truth. Because we don't. And then we go into suffering because we're lying to ourselves. We have a whole story of imagined things going on in our mind that aren't happening right now. Right? I mean, I'm speaking truth. We have a whole onslaught of things that are going on in our mind that aren't real. They're not happening, so they're not real. Mm-hmm. But we're making them as if they are. This is truth. And once you get through this, once you actually can comprehend this and then start doing it, okay? This is the first thing that will lead you to loving kindness. Believe it or not. But it's true. Why? Because we're speaking truth. And you start to be kind to yourself from it. You start saying to yourself, oh, that's not a truth. Because normally when we're chattering in our mind, it's not so good things about ourselves. Or about someone else. Right? We have a whole conversation about things that do not exist and are not happening. This is true. We have this whole conversation. And then we have to come back to here, right here, and go, what is the truth? What is real? Are the things I'm saying inside my mind, are those real? Are those truth? And I would say 100% of the time they're not. That's a big leap, isn't it, to say 100% of the time. But if you're suffering, it's 100% of the time.
And I deceive myself by having 98% of the truth and then that 2%.
Yes.
So it's not all true. And so, but because it kind of tips the scale, it's mostly true.
Yes.
It's like in The Princess Bride, he's mostly dead, you know, or mostly alive or whatever it is.
Yeah. And this is really, it's huge. This is huge because we tell ourselves, and I have conversations with all of you, right? And it's the same kind. Oh, is that true? Well, no, it's not really true. But you'll say to me, yes, that's how because that's how you've trained your mind to be. But once you start training your mind to say, is it a fact? Is it true? Is it real? Is it real? Is it right here, right now? Is it real? And if it's up here and not here, no, it's not real. Let it go. That's a hard one for people to do.
That's a huge one to let it go.
Yeah, it is. But that is where you start to have peace from letting go. Letting go. I mean, the monks in Thailand all the time. Let's it go, let's it be. We thought they were just chattering. Let's it go, let's it be. Yeah, like hello, whatever, But they were speaking truth to us. Let it go, let it be. What do you want to carry it for? What good is it doing you? What's it serving? Nothing. It's making you miserable. It's making you suffer. No purpose to it whatsoever, other than to make you suffer.
Right.
That is the purpose.
Yeah.
So in our life as human beings, we've been taught this for a long time. Not always, but for a long time. This has gone on year after year after year after year, generation after generation after generation, because people can be controlled when they're in suffering. See, they might take me off YouTube for saying that, but it's true. It makes you weak. And weak people who are suffering are easily controlled. They can do anything they want.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want to follow, yourself or someone else? Yourself. But you need to be whole. All your life, you've thought you weren't good enough. You've thought you suffering all the time. That's a lie. That's a lie. We've been through every commercial on TV. Look, they want to give you drugs. They don't want you to get fixed. There's herbs and plants out there to fix everything. But we aren't told that. And we aren't shared those things. Because then it's not going to make money. Because you can go out in your backyard or the forest and get it. But the truth is, on this earth, there's everything. There's something for every ailment. It's the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. But we don't see it because we watch TV or watch, get on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, and we get these commercials about, you need injections for this, you need a pill for that, oh, you have depression, here we have this. But then they go through really, really fast,
It's the side
all the side effects of what it is.
And it's like,
And they have to read it so fast because it takes 30 minutes for them if they read it slow.
and it's always where it says, like, if you experience like chest pains, diarrhea, possible stroke, I'm like, I'm sorry, this is gonna fix
And
a
death.
headache and death. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is gonna fix a headache.
Right.
Or a nail, yellow
Right.
nails,
Right.
and in death. I'm like, I'll take the yellow nails.
Over and
It's a whole thing, but it's a fact. And if you see it, if you watch, you'll see it over and over and over again. Teach our kids that. These poor kids, they're beautiful. They are beautiful just like they are, but they're being taught they're not. Competitions, horrible for children.
Mhm.
Because if they lose, they're the loser. If they win, someone else is the loser. What are we teaching them? Loving kindness? That doesn't sound like it. And sports are everywhere. But look at the athletes that have gone through, become famous, and then what happens? Once they can't, they're not going to be able to play forever. Then disaster hits them. Because they've been put up here with the ego. It's all around us. I can name things all around us, and you can see it, see
All
it,
the
see it, see it.
celebrities and everything,
Yes,
they suffer so
they
bad.
suffer so bad. They have alcoholism and drug abuse because they're suffering inside because they're expected to maintain this high ego that they don't even want anymore. You know, we got to be careful what we ask for because it comes, you know. Oh, so if we do this, if we speak the truth inside ourselves, no one else can tell us a lie. Because we already know the truth inside ourselves. It's protection. See, I'm going a step further now. Right? But that is the truth. If you have the truth inside of you, no one can tell you a lie. You're protected from the lie because you have the truth inside. Beautiful. Next one, metta. Loving kindness. Loving means showing great care, right? You're going to show yourself great care, taking great care of yourself. Kindness, a quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. How often are we considerate of ourselves? And let's see what considerate means exactly. Because, you know, sometimes we got to go to the dictionary.
I looked up some stuff the other day because you were doing that, and it was really helpful. I was like, oh, because what I thought
Mm-hmm.
it meant, because what I was told or learned
Right.
over my lifetime, what it meant, it didn't mean that at all.
Right.
And I know for me, like I hear a lot of things and I'm like, and I'll repeat them and I'm like, do I actually know what that word means?
Exactly.
What does that actually stand
Well,
for?
and the English language is so ambiguous anyway.
It shifts.
It does.
It's a lot in context.
True. Cool.
It's telling me I don't have internet, which I know is not true because I'm online. What does considerate mean? Give it to me. Give it to me. It's not. It doesn't want me to know this answer.
Yeah, I can try and look.
Did you look in the show?
Figure it out.
I was-
I'm getting a big blank. Isn't that funny? I'm not surprised. So, but we know.
Considerate is careful not to cause inconvenience or hurt to others. The
Oh,
quietest and most considerate tenets possible. Showing careful thought. Being considerate over your handwriting. So taking time.
taking time and being careful not to harm yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you said love is show great care, and then it hit me too, I was like, great care, like be aware also.
Yes.
Not just like
Yes.
care, but also being aware, is this situation that I'm about ready to put myself in, what's it gonna do to me?
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you know, harm
But
me,
here's the thing though. You don't need to have that conversation. You need to have a conversation of what are my thoughts. You don't need to think about, you already know what's gonna cause harm and what's not gonna cause harm. When you start having a conversation that's gonna you're gonna start thinking, and you're gonna go down analyzing. Don't analyze. We're gonna make it simple.
Okay.
We're gonna make it simple for ourselves.
Okay.
Don't cause yourself harm.
Okay.
Right? That's what kindness is, not causing yourself harm. We're gonna make it simple for ourselves, because if it's not simple, we don't do it. This is human. All right, so we're gonna take great care and not cause harm to ourselves. Mental or physical. Okay, great care and not cause harm. That's loving kindness. You gotta do it for yourself first.
Yeah, and you can't do that until you tell yourself the truth.
Right.
Which I just actually had to tell myself the truth. We were getting ready to throw a Halloween party. I didn't want to do it. It's just not something I was fully into this year. I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to do it. But we kept putting it off. And finally, I tell myself the truth that this isn't part of me anymore. This isn't what I want.
Does anybody here know what Halloween is?
Exactly. And
It's
that's
Halloween.
why I don't want to celebrate it anymore.
It's supposed to be the Celtic or Druid festival of lowering the walls between the living and the dead.
Yes, inviting the dead.
And then
That-
why should that be celebrated?
Right.
And I had this conversation, my husband and I were talking to each other because, we're pushing for this party that neither one of us want. We understand the truth behind it and we're like, why are we celebrating this?
Right.
And finally we decided that we're going to cancel it.
Yes.
We just canceled it. And you know what? I have never felt more relief over canceling something.
Congratulations, Michelle. That's good work.
And then I went through and gave everything, all those crazy decorations that I don't want
Right.
or want in my home, and gave them away.
Because that's what it is. And I never really thought about it. Halloween. But one of the monks asked me this past time I was up there, what is Halloween? I said, all I know is kids walk around and get candy. But let me look it up, and I looked it up because I said, that's a good question. I said, here in America, we just celebrate. We don't know why. We don't know why.
Because it can
Yeah,
bring money to buy
Because we get
costumes
candy
and
and we,
buy.
buy. So that's, So I looked it up and that's exactly what it said.
Mm-hmm.
We never celebrated Halloween at our house. So I
No,
heard
we
it for
did not.
Years and years.
It was just devil's birthdays. We
Yeah.
never celebrated.
Yeah,
it.
we didn't, when I was a kid,
I
we
didn't
didn't,
either.
we didn't because we lived in the, we lived in the country. And we
Was it
didn't
nobody-
have any.
Nobody ever came to the house
We didn't
except
have-
for once, and you gave them pencils. So I think they never
Oh,
came back.
they didn't egg your house?
Well, no, they didn't. But was not. And if I didn't buy
It's
candy.
okay.
I remember you were kind of like, well, what do we give them? I think you gave them like an apple and some pencils and a bag of pretzels.
It's all right.
And we used to buy like crayons and stuff like that, and and so we were known as the house that didn't get candy.
So you didn't get trick or treaters.
Well, it's true. So, but we can eat candy. You can eat candy. It's not good for you, but you can eat candy anytime. You don't need Halloween to eat candy.
Mm-mm.
Sure.
It's not healthy for you, but we all do it. So All right. Canty, patience is to accept or tolerate delays and or trouble without getting angry or upset. Whoa.
Wow.
Okay.
Did not know that was the definition.
Yeah.
I understand so much more money without
Kathy,
being angry
look.
or upset.
John Cyan gave Kathy the name Canty while we were up there. And it just came clear to her why.
Tolerate your delay without getting angry or upset.
Yes,
That's the huge part.
that's huge, right?
I can accept the delay, but without getting angry or upset is
Yes.
a new different.
Yes. It's not like an easy, but it is easy because getting angry and upset is hard.
Well, if you're telling her the truth, so
Oops.
why am I upset and trouble about this? Is more than likely it's the ego. This is kidding, I did.
Yeah, and more than likely it's completely out of your hands anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, you do need to look at why you're getting upset. That
always something
you
else.
need to look at why you're getting upset because then that's when you tell yourself the truth.
Right, you go back to the truth.
Yeah. If you don't look at why you're getting upset, then you'll just get upset again next time.
Delay is a good one.
Yes.
For me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, so see, I'm breaking it down because obviously we did not understand what these exactly meant.
And it's interesting that the word is patience is to accept or tolerate.
Yeah.
Tolerate is an interesting word there.
Yes, because think about it, you can't change it.
Right.
You cannot change it,
Mhm.
right? So it is what it is. So you don't have to be happy about what it is, but you don't have to be angry.
Right.
Detach from it, and then it doesn't mean anything. It's when you're
Oh.
attached to it that you become angry or
So
yes.
tolerate means allow the existence, occurrence, or practice of without interference.
There you go.
Oh,
Except-
that even says more to me.
Or accept or endure with forbearance.
So do you
Capable-
want to write on the board?
Which
You don't have to write all of it, but you can write accept.
under Canty?
Yes, we put accept and tolerate, but what else does it say?
Accept, or no, it says allow the existence of.
Allow.
Yeah, because you're not
Allow,
changing
endure.
what's outside of you.
Mm-mm.
You can't. You can't. It's all outside of you.
Mhm.
The only thing you're changing is what's going on in here.
Mm.
You can spend your life trying to change what's going on outside of you, and it will never happen because it's all about somebody else or something else, not about you.
Okay.
Without
Mhm.
interference.
Allow the existence, occurrence, I didn't put or practice of, because I would have done with interference.
So, not interfering with what's happening, let it go, let it be.
That's huge.
Yeah, you just have to accept the things you cannot change, right? That's in the serenity prayer, right?
Mhm.
There's a reason. There's little bits of this everywhere. But nobody has gone full blown because then they don't have control anymore, right? That's the truth. There's no control when you are in control of your own mind. So, Canty is a big one, patience, but as I've said before, once you get the truth, then metta automatically follows, right? Loving kindness, once you are really telling yourself the truth, not halfway or not a quarter of the way or not 3/4 of the way, but all out telling yourself the truth, then loving kindness automatically comes in. It happens.
As I'm going through these steps, telling my truth. There's a portion of when I'm telling myself the truth and when I'm doing things. I mean, it's not always in the same pattern or
Yes.
whatever. That interference would come out. How much are you interfering, Kathy? How much are you interfering? And now I understand why that was so important in my mind, because that's part of it. And then, of course, that's my ego and my ability to control, which we talked about.
Yes. So this is, we're going, step by step on how to fix it, how to do it inside yourself, right? We're not talking about anybody else. We're talking about ourselves and what we have to do with ourselves. Not outside of us, inside, all right? Then we're going to Virya. Virya, effort, is a vigorous or determined attempt. Vigorous is strong, healthy, and full of energy. Determined is having made a firm decision and being resolved not to change it. What? So, okay, when I ask everybody, are you doing your practice? Have you ever said to yourself, okay, I'm determined and I have this, I'm making a firm decision now not to change it. This is,
I think I need to say that because I change it.
I have, but I've changed it.
Yeah, but meaning like, I'll get up at 5 to get my practice started. So then one morning I don't feel like getting out of bed. Oh, okay, I'll just lay here and do my practices in the bed.
Yes.
It's not very determined to change it.
Mhm.
That's very
Mhm.
yeah, no, it doesn't
Yeah.
work that way.
It doesn't work that way. You have to give the effort. The effort is big.
Mhm.
It's big.
Firm decision.
But
and
this
resolve not
this
to
is
change.
you. See, it's not anybody else. You're not doing this for anybody else. You're doing this so that you can be whole again. Right? Like
Mhm.
you're becoming whole again. Not for enlightenment, not for you're becoming whole again. I think that's a good way to put it. You're not searching for something. You're becoming whole again.
I had seen this thing that I wanted to share and to get your thoughts on. It was in the front of a book, actually. But it says, finding yourself is not really how it works. You aren't a $10 bill that's last winter's coat pocket. You are also not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under cultural conditioning, other people's opinions, and inaccurate conclusions you drew as a kid that became beliefs about who you are. Finding yourself is actually returning to yourself and unlearning and excavation and remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you.
Yes. This is true,
Mhm.
right? But in order to do that, there's steps we gotta take.
Yeah, no, I had just seen that and I was like, oh, that's a
Yes,
good way of looking at it.
It is great, but if you don't know how to do it, how are you gonna do it?
Yeah, the rest of the
You know?
book was blank, and I realized it was a notebook, and I was like, well, that might be confusing. You read that, and then you're like, well, what do I do with that?
Right? But this is true. We have to, if we constantly, we're working on ourselves. Our entire life, we haven't been.
Mm-mm.
We haven't been working on ourselves. We've been working on all kinds of stuff outside of us. Work, 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 work. I mean, I see it every day. I'm just like, oh, okay. Because it's everywhere with everyone. And I'm not saying we don't have to work. We all have to work. I have to work, right? We all have to work. But when work becomes more and you become less, where's the balance? There isn't one.
Mm-mm.
And this world would make you think that that's the only way to do it. But I'm here to tell you that's a lie that they're telling you. You can do it. You can have balance. I do real estate and I do this. I'm getting ready to do the changeover. And I know that, because I've done real estate for 20 years, And it's been a long 20 years of real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have a few more that I need to take care of, and then I'm doing the changeover. Because I've had the balance now. I understand what it is. But now I have to teach it. That's my new job, right? And that's a job that spreads loving kindness to people. So Ubeka, equanimity, is a state. Can you read that for me?
Is a state psychological stability and composure which is undisturbed by experience of or exposure to emotions, pains, or other phenomena that may cause others to lose the balance of their mind.
Oh. So you're undisturbed by exposure of or experiencing of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Emotions, pain,
Emotions, pain,
or other
phenomena that may cause others to lose the balance of their mind. That means when you're not in balance, when you're not in Ubeka, you're losing the balance of your mind. It's not means you're crazy. That's not what it's saying. It's saying you're losing the balance There's a balance,
Mhm.
you know? And when you're not in balance, you've got chaos going on. Right? But you don't have to have chaos going on. You can have balance. How do you have balance? Steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 will bring you to number 5. See? You have to be truthful. Because here's the thing, when you're telling yourself the truth, all right? Say you have a thought and it's something crazy and you go into suffering, then all of a sudden you're like, wait, that's not true. That's not a truth. That's just a thought I'm having. That's a conversation I'm having that's not even true. It's like somebody telling me a lie and I'm believing it. That's the conversation you need to have in your mind. When you start having all these things running in your head, and when I talk to y'all, I'll go, what are you thinking? How do I know you're thinking something? Because I'm talking and I stop talking and the phone is silent for a period of time. That means you're in your own thoughts.
Mhm.
And I sit and I wait. Then eventually I say, well, what are you thinking? You might as well share it, right?
Mhm.
Because you're having a conversation by yourself. Share it with me, right? Because I know you've gotten lost in your thoughts. And they're telling you a bunch of stories that aren't truths. They're not real. So it's like me going, here, come on. Give me your hand. I'll pull you out, right? That's what I'm doing when I say, what are you thinking? I'm pulling you out of your own mind so that you can see that you were just in your own mind and having a whole conversation. So that next time, hopefully, you can pull yourself out of it. Because sometimes we don't know that we're doing that, right? Yeah. So you need a teacher to say, okay, what are you thinking now, right? I'll ask you.
I don't even know if you don't know. It's more of you're so used to just running rampant in your mind that it's just normal then. And you're like, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, I am thinking.
Yes. Because a lot of times we don't know that we're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we first started, I'd say, what do you think? I don't know. I'm like, that's not an answer I like. Right? I would say that. That's not a good answer because that means something else is controlling you and you aren't. You're not there. You're not in this balance. You're going somewhere else, right? You're losing the balance in your mind. So these are very important steps. Very important. I mean, I had no idea when I met Master Boomy, and he told me these, right? Sachitam, Metatam, Kantitam, Wadiatam, Opakatam. He said it so fast I didn't know what he was talking about. Well, I wouldn't have known anyway, right? But it's the quality of truth inside of you, right? And he told me at that point, you don't know what I'm saying, you think you don't know what I'm saying, but you do know what I'm saying, and when you need to know, it will come to you, and you will teach it. He spoke those words to me. I did not believe him. You guys don't believe me sometimes, right? It's okay. I did not believe him because I thought, he told me I was going to India. I was like, India? I'm not going to India. That's silly talk. I went to India. I went to India before I went to Thailand. Had no idea. Right? He knew because he's already done the steps that I've done now. He had already done it. So now he could tell me, oh, this is the way it's gonna, he could see it. Because he saw loving kindness in my heart. He had it, y'all have all met except for Vanessa hasn't met it, but he had loving kindness in his heart.
Mm.
So his heart spoke to my heart. That's the way it happens sometimes. It's beautiful. But you have to cultivate that inside of you. And you have to do it by your truth. Inside of you. I met him after I had to speak a truth to everybody. It was a hard truth. The hardest truth I've ever had to speak, one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I spoke it. The minute I spoke it, my life changed in ways I could not even have imagined. Like I never thought how I'm doing things now. I never thought that was the way it was going to be. Oh, I own the Sagati Center. I charge people, come in. Let me, no. Now I'm like, don't charge, right? Because that's truth. This should be taught for free. I was taught for free. Everybody should have it for free. Then if you get it and you want to give. But there's never any, oh, you have to give. No. You give to yourself first. How do you give to yourself? I'm going to say it's over here on the board. You give to yourself by telling yourself truth, by being kind and loving to yourself. Right? It's really, we make it very difficult for ourselves. And it's not. We're just used to doing something else. So when you first rode a bicycle, you couldn't ride a bicycle. You fell a few times, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know how to ride it. Somebody had to tell you how to ride it, right? Same thing. You're learning something new. You're going to fall a few times. You'll get back up, get back on the bike, and pretty soon you'll ride that bike, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care how long you've been off a bike, you get back on it, you know how to ride it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing, just like riding a bike. Just like riding a bike. You just forgot all these things. You're learning them. You're learning how to ride your bike again. You might fall a couple times, get back up and get on the bike. You will learn it. And when you learn it, you will never forget it. You will never forget it. When you learn it, it will be in you and you will know it and it will just be. Just like riding a bike. And it's very beautiful. It's like nothing I've ever experienced, truly. It's so, and it has nothing to do with anyone else, right? The Buddha, right? They talk about the Buddha. The Buddha's name wasn't Buddha, but they named him Buddha because he found enlightenment, what they called enlightenment. But he found peace. That's what he found. Everybody puts names on it, right? Everybody puts names and, Nibbana. Don't look for Nibbana. Find the balance in yourself. Don't look for anything. Just give yourself loving kindness. Give yourself truth. Live it inside yourself. Let that be. Let that marinate. Will things come? Yes, things will come. Don't look for them though. Because the minute you start looking for them, they're going to be gone. Because that's your ego. When you look for something, right? I'm going to get Nibbana. I've heard that many times, right? Or Nirvana. Americans call it Nirvana. Thailand, they call it Nibbana. I've heard it many, many, many times. Even with monks. Oh, we're going to meditate, get Nibbana. Stop looking for that. Because that will elude you. Just be kind and loving to yourself. Be truthful inside of yourself. Things will follow. But only if you're doing this. And this happens to be part of the Eightfold Path. Right? Right speech, right view, right thought, right livelihood. All these things that fall in line. It's not by accident. They pair up with each other. So when you do one, the next one follows. But you have to do it fully. And the first one is truth. And you have to be fully truthful inside yourself. You got to work on that like your life depended on it. Because it does. You work on that, telling yourself the truth. Be honest with yourself. Now, honesty isn't telling yourself, oh, I suck because I didn't do my practice. That's not truth inside of you. So, you didn't do your practice one day. Okay. Okay. Do it next time. Do it tonight. Do it tomorrow. But don't tell yourself you're not good. That's not a truth. Because all of us are made up of the same. Everything in this world, actually. All the same. Right? The elements. That's what makes us up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, everything in this world. So when you break it down, we're all the same. Nobody's better, nobody's worse, blah, blah, blah. We don't have to go into all that, right? Just be kind to yourself and tell yourself truth. Truth is, I'm going to give it an effort. There you go. That's the truth. Or is it? I don't know. It is for me, right? That's my truth. I'm giving it an effort every day. I give my effort, my effort, my effort. That's what I do every day for myself. Then I can give the effort for others, right? And come here and I can try to help teach and give y'all tools, and hopefully you'll take them home and use them. But that's the way it is. If we don't tell ourselves the truth, if we start going down the road of untruth to ourselves, then we can't move past that. You know, it keeps us right there at this, imbalance inside ourselves. So we have to speak the truth to ourselves. You'll get used to it. It's hard at first because we're not used to telling ourselves the truth. We're not used to telling anybody the truth. Oh, you can't tell that. They won't know. Don't tell them that. We hear that all the time.
At the restaurant, people eat food that they don't like, and I know that they don't like it. But they eat it because they don't want to. Like, it's too spicy, like they'll order something that's too spicy.
Yes.
And I'll say, like, are you sure I can get you another one? No, it's good. And I can see, like, it's not good. It's not good. Like, they just don't want to say, yeah, it's too hot.
Everybody does that. Not everybody, but, a lot of people
Yeah.
do that. Even as you spoke that, I was like, because we're online.
Yeah.
But it's the truth. Why not speak the truth? It happens. Things happen. But we need to speak it always truth inside ourselves. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I really don't. I'm going to do truth inside of me. Whatever anybody else is doing, that's on them. I love people. I love everybody. But my brother hadn't been here for how long? I don't know. But that's on him. It's not about me. I love him, but I'm not attached to that. He's got to do him. We all have to do our stuff. And we all have to speak truth inside ourselves. And when we don't, it creates an imbalance. And know the truth, though. Don't think you're telling yourself a truth and it be a lie.
I'm trying to figure is the real truth.
Well, there's a way to do that. Number one, is it happening right here and right now? Right? Because most of the time it's happening, and we're thinking about the past, or we're thinking about the future, or what might be, or what, and or it's about somebody else. Got nothing to do with you. So know it. If it's happening right here, right now, and if it's happening to you, or if it's happening to someone else. There we go. This is how you know. This is how you speak truth into yourself. If it's about somebody else, it's got nothing to do with you. So whatever you're going on about is stories you're telling yourself. Y'all get that?
Mm-hmm.
If it's got to do with someone else, it's not about you. And if you make it about you, that's your ego, and you're going to go into suffering. It's not about you. So you have to tell yourself, truth is, it's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you've got to tell yourself, truth is, that's not happening right now. Past or future, it's not happening right now. So those are two ways to know if it's a truth. And if you're suffering. If you're suffering, you're telling yourself a story. And you've attached to it. That's what happens. You know, you tell yourself a story, you've attached to the story, and then you keep going down that road of suffering. It's making you suffer, but oh no, I went down that road already. Oh, it's okay, I'm gonna go down it again. Yeah, in Thailand, we were trying to find this durian farm, right? And it was a temple, but it was a durian farm. And we went around, and in Thailand, they don't have street signs, so that's a whole nother thing. But we went around and ended up at the same place 3 times. And like the second time I said, I think we've been here before. I think this is, no, okay. Here we were again. So we went 3 times to the same place. And finally, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to sit back because there's nothing I can do. I mean, we went down to where there was no road anymore. So this is how, if you know these things, like inside yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. I knew we had been there before, right? I knew that. 10 minutes before, we'd already been there. I knew, I saw it. But I wasn't going to convince them that we had been there before. So what's the point? I know the truth inside myself, right? That was the truth inside of me. No reason for me to suffer. I didn't have to suffer. I just sat back and watched it. And then eventually they realized we had been down there before, right? You don't have to suffer over it. You can just say, oh, I've been here before. I know what this is, right? And you have been down it before. You do know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The minute you start feeling that, you know it. You're familiar. That's the one thing you're very familiar with is suffering. You're familiar with it. So the minute you start feeling it, red flag, stop it, tell myself the truth. What's the truth? What's going on here? What is my mind chatter? Because your mind is chattering and you're not paying attention, and that's usually how you go down into suffering. Because it's all and you're reminiscing about, and your mind just goes and you follow it. And then all of a sudden you're in a place and you're like, how did I get here? Wait, this isn't peace. Let me backtrack, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when you just let it go, let it be. Okay, I'm going to let that one go, right? Just like I did when I told them that we were at the same place. They said no. I said, okay, let it go. to do with me. I wasn't driving. I was just, I was sitting in the back seat. Yeah, didn't matter to me, right? Let's get Google. Google. They called it Google. Let's get Google. But how do you do that with those street signs? You know? Yeah,
It does work most of the time.
yeah, yeah. They put in like a certain place they want to go. It works most of the time.
I'm like, are they doing like longitudinal? They put
I- no,
coordinates.
So there's addresses.
Addresses, but
But
there's
so I
no-
just say like turn right here.
I
It
don't.
Like there's
really-
no street. It's not like 500 feet.
No,
turn
there
onto
are
West Street.
signs, but it's not.
500
Well, a
feet.
lot of the
A
streets
lot
are
of
dirt.
the places, the smaller places, no.
Yeah. There was.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's once you get into villages and it's
Yeah.
side roads. too.
Yeah, there's a lot of dirt roads. Yeah. So, okay. So we've got, I'm hitting the truth big because this is the beginning, right? This is where you start. If you can't get the truth, which it's hard a lot of times for people to understand the truth. But you have to understand this. You have to get this in order to move forward. Once you get it, you'll automatically move forward. It's automatic. It's funny how it works. And it goes fast. It goes really quick. But you have to get it. You have to understand. You have to pay attention to your own mind. Chatter, chatter. Right?
It's quick how it sneaks in there too.
It does. It's very quick. That's why you have to be mindful.
Mm-hmm.
Sati. Mindfulness. Being mindful means paying attention to what's going on in your mind. Right? That's what mindfulness is. People say mindfulness, they don't know what they're talking about most of the time. Oh, I'm mindful that I picked up this phone. But do you know why you picked up that phone? Right? You have to know what's going on in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what mindful is. What is the chatter going on? If you have chatter, you need to know what it is so that you can quiet it. Right?
Mhm.
Sneeze. Oh, didn't come. Right there. So that's really the important, number one. The first one is so important that you understand it and that you do it. Not just understand it, but you do it. Speaking the truth to yourself. Now, sometimes we'll speak half the truth or a quarter and say, well, that's good enough. But that's a lie that you're telling yourself, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have got to speak the truth, the reality of the truth. It's not always easy. And if you tell me what you think I want to hear, that's not helpful to you. Okay? Because what you say to me is really what you're saying to yourself.
So truth has no emotions.
No. Why
It
does-
just is.
Mhm. It is what it is. It's not like you can't change the truth.
Nope.
Even if you lie about the truth, it doesn't change the truth. It is what it is. So you can't say, oh, well, I told half the truth, but it's okay. No, it's still a story that you're telling yourself.
So when I am telling my truth to myself, I should never say I feel.
No, it's not a feeling. It's a truth.
There's no emotion in it.
None. None of this has emotion.
Right.
I don't we confuse emotion with love. And it's not one and the same.
Yeah.
See, I love you guys unconditionally, right? And you know that.
Mhm.
I show up here, right? I love you unconditionally. You can call me anytime you want. I love you unconditionally, but I am not going to suffer over your actions. Right? I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? Wouldn't make any sense, right? But that's feeling. Oh, we've been taught, oh, I love them so much. That's a feeling. What is love again? Taking great care. Right? Taking great care. There's a difference. When you're emotional, you cannot take great care of somebody. Like when my mom was dying, I took care of her. I took great care of her, actually. I didn't work. I stayed there with her. I took great care of her. I was not emotional until she died. I loved her unconditionally. Now, there were some that couldn't do that because they were emotionally attached. I loved my mother unconditionally, but I was not emotionally attached. I detached from the situation. I made it about her and not about me. See, that's how you take great care. You take great care of yourself by making it about you and not about anybody else, right? I could not have taken great care of my mother if I made it about me. So I'm telling you, you need to take great care of yourself. Because this is not a journey of someone else. This is your journey. This is your adventure. This is your life that you're living.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take great care of you. Are y'all getting this? Is it making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because these are important. This is why I cleared the board. See? We had a board filled, right? It was filled. It was like mind chatter. That's what it looked like when I walked in. I was like, oh, that looks like mind chatter. I got to take it all down, clean it, clear it, right? That's what we did. We cleaned it and cleared it. Clearing your mind. It's a big deal. It will lead you to peace. You are becoming whole again. But only if you choose that. It's up to you. It's really a beautiful journey. And journey, I don't know if that's such a good word because it's not really hard. It seems like it's hard. And I know to you guys right now, you're like, it is too hard. But it's not. If you do these things, it's easy. It becomes easy. But you've got to focus on doing these things, like you focus on doing your job, right? This is your job for yourself. You have to focus on doing that for you, not for anybody else. Don't tell me a story. I don't need to know it, right? I want you to speak the truth. When you speak the truth. Speak it to yourself, speak it to others. Because when you speak a lie to someone else, you're speaking it inside yourself as well. So always be truthful. Even, see, we get attached to an outcome. When we speak a truth, we get attached to an outcome. We're afraid that we're going to hurt somebody's feelings or we're going to, no. The truth is the truth. Whether you hurt their feelings or not, that's up to them being attached to whatever it is, you know. But the truth is still the truth. Whether you speak it or not, it does not make the truth go away. The truth is the truth. It's the real, it's the, you know, what's happening. So if you remember that and just be like, well, you know, and I'll go back to myself. The hardest thing I had to do was come back from Puerto Rico and tell you guys the truth, right? That was hard for me. It was hard for me to call you and say, I'm not gonna charge anymore. I've been charging you, but I'm not gonna charge anymore because I shouldn't have been charging you. It was a hard thing to do. But the truth was the truth. Set us free. It will always set you free. Now, I'm not talking about go say needless things to people that hurt their feelings on purpose. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm saying if someone asks you a question or inside yourself especially, speak your truth to yourself. And the truth is not downing yourself, not doubting yourself, not being mean to yourself. That is not a truth. That is a lie that you've been telling yourself your entire life. So I want you to speak truth inside yourself. Because we are all the same. So if you're speaking trash about yourself, guess what? You're speaking trash about me too. And everybody else that you love and care about. Because we're all the same. We're made up of the same. People can't get this concept, but it's so big. It's so big. Even the trees and everything. We're all made up of the same thing. So how are we different? We look different, but that's about it. We're not. So speak the truth inside yourself and set yourself free from this bondage that you've been in your entire life of suffering. Right? I know, I had to do it. It's not easy at first to speak your truth. It's not easy. You know, because you're so used to not speaking the truth, and then you go through the whole scenario. Well, what are they going to think, and how are they going to react? And da. Doesn't matter. Truth is the truth. You speak it inside yourself. Don't waver from it. You know, sometimes I abstain from speaking the truth, right? I just won't say anything. Because I know the truth about a lot of things. But sometimes I just don't speak it. Because I know that whoever I'm about to speak it to is not going to believe me or not going to care or not want to hear it. So it's not my place. So I don't say it. I'm like, okay. I'm not going to say that. I know better than to say that, right? But I always speak truth inside myself. Even when it's painful. Even when I have to look at myself, it was painful to call you guys, right? That was painful. It was hard to do. But I did it. Every day I speak truth inside of myself. I have to evaluate myself every single day. Because it's not only me, I'm teaching. So I have to evaluate myself and make sure I clean my heart and my mind every single day. All day long. All day.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I speak it, I have to live it. So that's what I do every day. Clean my mind, clean it, clean it, clean it. It's not that thoughts don't come in. They come in. I'm human. The monks have thoughts. We know. I lived with them for 9 months. They spoke it sometimes, right? But it's what you do with that when it enters. You have a thought. You look at it. Oh, last time I had you in my mind, you created suffering and I ended up crying and being sad. So this time, I'm kicking you out. Right? Just speak that to yourself. That you're lying to me. You're lying to me. I don't have to believe it because I know it's not a truth now. So that will eliminate. And immediately that's what I do inside myself. If a thought comes in, I'm like, that's not true. Quick as that. And it starts happening just like that. You'll have thoughts. Everybody has thoughts. They don't go away. It's that you know what to do with them when they come. You're like, nope, that's not true. That's not true. and you change it as quick as that. You kick it out and you know it's not true, just as quick as that. It doesn't take any time. See, right now it takes time because you're still in the process of trying to tell yourself the truth. Right? You're still in that process of weeding through the truth and non-truth inside your own self. But you have got to look at it. You don't have to, but if you want to have peace inside, you have to look at it and say, okay, is this the truth? No, it's not. How do you know it's not?
Is it present? Is it right now? And is it about me? Not
Yes.
someone else.
Yes. Yes. And then you can just start cleaning your house, cleaning your mind, cleaning your mind, cleaning your mind. And once your mind is clean, then you can start loving yourself again. But it's all, this is the process it takes. I have to do it. And I do it daily. It's not that you stop doing it. You're creating your new habit. You're learning to ride your bike. And then you'll enjoy it because you're like, I know what that thought is, ping, and it'll just go like that. And you're able to stay in this present moment and be at peace. And nothing deters you from that. You're like, no. I mean, even I'm going to Pittsburgh and it's going to be cold. And everybody here knows that I like Thailand because it's warm, right? That's not the only reason I like Thailand, but but here I am. So I can't, if I got upset about that, be in misery. So I'll see the snow, right? Wear heavy boots and big jackets and layer up, right? Until I have my next adventure. Because there'll be another adventure. It's the way it works. When your mind is clear, then you can start doing this. You can start just being at peace and letting whatever comes come. We don't know. Right now the monks are being taught patience. It's beautiful. Because they're trying to get that land. The lady has a contract. She's been sitting on it for 7 days, still hadn't answered. Patience, right? That's what I said to him, Candy. Candy. Because I can't make her answer. I don't know what's going on. Maybe she said she was going to have somebody look at it. She agreed to the price. Oh, they started celebrating. I'm like, nothing's a done deal till we get that contract back.
Until you settle.
Yeah. I said, you have to, but it's teaching them too. See, this is the universe is our university and it's beautiful. Teaching us. We didn't know we were in school. We thought we were done in school and that this was, no, we're just being taught. The whole time we're here, we're being taught. The school was made up. It was. Look at that. School was made up. I don't know who made it up, but somebody made it up because, in caveman days, they didn't go to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
The universe taught them.
Mm-hmm.
And it will teach us if we pay attention. All right, ladies. So it's 8:08. Look at that. 8:08. 8. The Eightfold Path. Look at that. Shall we do a meditation? All right. Let's breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Have your eyes lightly closed. Your hands are in your lap. Continue breathing in, breathing out. Take a deep breath in, let it out, in and out. One more time, in, out. Gently open your eyes. How are we? Good. So today I want to spread loving kindness to everyone watching. So I'm going to get out my little book here. And we're going to sharing loving kindness. Sapeta Ayantu Apejantu Anikaontu Suki Atanam Pariyarontu. May everyone be free from suffering and take care of themselves happily. All right, until next time. No class next week.
Good.
Go ahead.
I was like, I think I got in there.